Today is Thursday, September 16th. It's just after 6 o'clock. This is a meeting of the Abington CAM Board of Directors. Abington CAM being Abington Community Access and Media Incorporated, the private nonprofit 501c3 corporation that runs the Abington Cable Television Studio. First thing on our agenda tonight, old and new business. Do we have any? Hearing none. Next thing on the agenda is the approval of meeting minutes. We have meeting minutes from September 8th, last Wednesday.
Actually, I'm not sure if you saw my message, Mr. Kelly, regarding,
Yeah, I sent
Oh, yeah, he sent something
I sent back a
later.
response.
Here, I'll show you too.
Should be,
Right here. That's it.
did you get a copy of that?
He sent that at 5:21, so you probably didn't see it. Because I didn't either.
I was a
Right
little
here.
busy today, I would have responded earlier. but
Yeah.
I didn't
Sorry.
see it.
Because I asked about the first one.
okay, so I guess it warrants clarification, but as you've documented it by the video, that's how it was, but I think we
Yeah.
should clarify that.
But you did not mention, we did not mention the word FinCom at all. You wanted to put that in there.
Yeah, well, I'm referring to the, so.
Oh, the other ones, they're called unpaid bills, I mean.
That's what I was referring to,
My ears
yep.
have been hearing unpaid bills, I never heard reimbursed expenses,
Okay.
or unreimbursed expenses, so.
Yeah. So I guess,
I mean, I can't add something that wasn't said, is what I'm
Sure.
trying to tell
I
you.
just wanna make
Well,
it
can we
clear
amend
that
it?
we, so.
No, because you didn't say it.
No, but can we
So
amend it now?
what I'm
That's okay,
suggesting-
I'm gonna say it though.
No, because it wasn't said, you can't amend the minutes for something that wasn't said.
I'm gonna clarify it.
Yep, we're gonna clarify at this meeting
This meeting, yeah.
what
Yes,
was
you could do
perhaps
that,
recorded
absolutely.
last meeting.
Yes,
Sure.
but you can't amend the minutes because that's not what we said. You can say something now.
Linda, are you, sorry, Lisa, are you gonna clarify that?
I will, after approval of the minutes,
Oh.
this will be a new item for the next minutes.
And
Yes.
just one
That's
other
the correct way to do it.
slight change on page 2, first paragraph.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I have brought new ones with me, I did change that.
Okay, that's fine.
If you wanna see the new ones,
Okay,
it says 8,600 now, right?
correct, all right,
Yes.
that's,
They're here if you wanna. I'll give
that's
you
fine,
another
I'll
set.
take a risk.
I appreciate that, I must have, down this end, we didn't hear you, I guess.
You did great turning them around in a short time, thank you for
I
doing that.
know.
Thank you.
So, I just have a question on the last paragraph. Am I understanding this correctly, that at the last meeting, we approved the health insurance and, that's all set for Kevin to take over the handling of that?
Yes,
Okay.
that was my understanding.
Okay,
Anybody else?
That's the way I wrote it, I mean,
Okay.
so
Okay.
that's my understanding, was that, that's what we voted, and to keep it at a 75% cap of the individual rate.
Yes.
Right.
for, Kevin and any other employees?
Right, for anybody.
Okay. Okay, do we have a motion on approval of the minutes?
Move to accept the minutes as it's been amended.
Wait a second.
Do we have a second? Jessica, I'm
Wait a
sorry.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
They weren't amended,
Well,
all right, just as accepted.
just accepted, yeah.
Okay. So, as something to clarify, just so everybody's aware, everybody watching. Regarding the $77,000 that Abington CAM was not reimbursed from the enterprise fund. Whatever your understanding of that is that the studio, FinCom, Finance Committee approved the studio to draw $170,000 from the enterprise fund during FY 2021. The studio actually spent roughly $250,000. I wrote this up yesterday and I kind of rounded it just for clarity's sake. I didn't go back in and check exactly every number, but roughly $250,000 spent during FY 21, excluding the Plymouth County CARES Act reimbursement expenditures. We spent and received in return $131,000 last year of items for COVID-related expenses for the studio. So I didn't include that in this conversation. The studio received $170,000 in enterprise fund reimbursements during FY '21. That's all we were allowed to withdraw. We withdrew the maximum we were allowed. So then, now that we're in FY '22, approximately $100,000 remains in the enterprise fund from FY '21. It carried over. It's actually more like $96,000. Town meeting approved FY '22 enterprise fund reimbursements to the studio of $368,000. And our expected revenues for 2022, FY '22, are $268,000. That's money coming in from Comcast and Verizon. Our expected regular expenditures are roughly the same, $260,000. So that leaves about $100,000 in the enterprise fund that the studio is allowed to withdraw in FY '22. We have two options. I'm sorry, I can't breathe very well with this on. We have two options for withdrawing the remaining $100,000 that carried over from FY '21. The first option being that we put a town meeting warrant article on for the next town meeting. If we have one in the fall, we could do it in the fall, or we could do it next spring. For the invoices that we have totaling approximately $77,000. So whatever invoices were not reimbursed from the enterprise fund during FY '21, we could put a warrant article on to be reimbursed. The town would have to vote to approve that at town meeting. The other option for withdrawing the money out of the enterprise fund greater than our expected expenditures would be to remodel the cameras at the town hall as we've been planning to do. Pay for them out of the corporate checking, roughly $60,000-$70,000 that we would pay for anyway out of the corporate checking, and then submit those invoices to be reimbursed from the enterprise fund. So that would bring us up beyond our regular $268,000 in expenditures for FY '22. And as I understand it, that is what the board came to a consensus and agreement that we would do, is not to submit a warrant article, not to be reimbursed for our remaining 2021 expenses, and withdraw that money from the enterprise fund with the town hall remodel, the camera reimbursement.
Correct.
Okay, so we're clear? That's the plan.
Good thought.
Yeah, that's what I wrote.
So,
Can I make a statement on
yeah,
it?
absolutely.
What we were earlier discussing, we were concerned that there may have been a perception that there were unpaid bills, and that's not the case. It was
No.
just, it's a situation, if it came out that way, our
Mhm.
last recorded video, it's worth correcting the situation.
That is not what I.
All it is we have a reimbursement that hasn't happened from the enterprise fund as we comply with what FinCom has allowed to extract based on
Right.
fiscal year '21.
Right.
By 2022, and the work that we're doing, anticipating to do with the town hall upgrade of the camera system, it all comes out and it's fine.
Should be
It's not
roughly-
about lacking payment or
No.
bills. We're not even concerned where it's sitting. We can just make use of it with anticipated activities of 2022 fiscal
Differently.
year.
It's just a matter of how we will be reimbursed that money from the
Okay.
enterprise fund.
Yep.
We took what we were allowed. The studio's paid all its bills from its corporate checking. Some of it was reimbursed from the enterprise fund, some of it was not.
It was my recollection that the 170 that FinCom had defined was based on really the first time we had enterprise set up and in motion.
Right,
That was the
right.
first time,
They-
so we
there's
just
a
had,
calcu- there's a
had a
calculation
lot
they
of
did.
experience, right?
There's a calculation they did, and,
Exactly.
right, the number's not good, and we all agreed upon that, that the 170 was too low, but.
The
we
170
had to
was
live with it.
actually the receipts that went through the enterprise fund for the previous year without the first three
Quarters.
Comcast and Verizon checks, just 3 checks, because the studio received them directly. After that, the town manager redirected them to the enterprise fund.
Exactly. So it's
And
just
that's where
going
the
in a different
170
way,
came
that's
from.
all, yep. And
Right.
by the way, I think the fiscal year 2022 budget, as agreed and reviewed and approved by FinCom, was all based on our projections of costs. So-
And they knew that the money would be rolling over because
Exactly.
they had not allowed us to withdraw the full amount
Yeah,
for
so,
this year.
good clarification, thank you.
Okay. So, next item on the agenda, employee job descriptions, hiring motion. We have- Kevin has asked that, we call the job description that was originally discussed before he even came along in 2019 as Assistant Executive Director. He would like that to be called Access Operations Coordinator. So we have that here.
We do. Mr. Malloy, if I may, Madam Chair, provided an updated version.
I think
I think
everybody
everybody on
has
the
it.
board has a copy of it.
No, actually, Bob Malloy brought that.
As I said, it's Mr. Malloy
Yeah.
brought it,
Oh, I'm
and
sorry.
updated it, and has provided copies for everybody.
Sorry.
Yeah, so the job description incorporated is Abington CAM Access Operations Coordinator, and that's the job description. There's a version at the bottom that I would update if there's feedback or input on what's been documented, we can modify it. But I think I've accounted for previous discussions on roles and responsibilities. You know, there's an emphasis that the Access Operations Coordinator shall at all time assist the Executive Director with the tasks listed. And they're spelled out, as was discussed at our last meeting. You know, there are unanticipated things that could possibly arise. So we did add other related ACAM studio duties as requested, but I think, you know, we're just trying to be straight with whoever is taking on that role would understand the responsibilities.
Correct.
We have any comments, discussion, suggestions?
I'm not sure if, are we ready to approve the job description and agree that it is a salaried position in a single statement and potential vote? I had recorded at the bottom of the description, the Abington CAM Access Operations Coordinator is a salaried full-time, which would be at least 40 hours weekly, and reports directly to the Abington CAM Executive Director. It's the, you know, first time of a statement of a salaried full-time position, so if we're going to approve the description, are we also approving that we would fund a salaried position in that role?
That was my impression.
Okay.
Me too.
Yeah.
Great,
Yep, it goes all along.
so it's all in the same document, if anybody was willing to motion for this job description to be accepted, we would consider that.
Yes? Anyone have a motion?
I'll motion to accept the Abington CAM Access Operations Coordinator job description as written.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And I don't know if I can make a comment, but we all in agreement that the salary for this individual is per Kevin, like at his discretion or the executive director's discretion within his budget? Or do we wanna?
We did previously vote a range, $23 to $28 an hour.
That's correct.
Arrange for this job description, because we just voted this job description, so we did
Yeah,
not.
it's a new job.
Yeah,
Well,
if I may, I would say it would be a similar range, but also with the discussion that was previously as to the assistant executive assistant, I would think that the high end of the range can measure with another conversation if we wanted to elevate said individual to that status.
The executive,
The assistant, right.
Assistant
Okay.
executive
Right.
director, which would be another conversation for another day,
Correct.
Yes,
because we need a new job description after that,
yes,
yes.
because now that one is pretty
Right.
similar to
It would be, it would be probably a little bit more enhanced, something that we can have a discussion about, but let's not,
No, down
let's
the
not put
road.
let's
Down
down
the
the
road.
road, correct,
So you're satisfied with the range as previously discussed?
correct. If the board so feels inclined as well.
Right, so for clarification, I'm not sure if you're asking Jessica, are you saying, for this position, if an individual that we expect might be taking on that role, would we change the salary or leave it to Kevin's discretion as the executive director to modify that salary? Or, are you asking, is Kevin going to adjust the salary? That's what I'm asking.
Well, I'm asking, since he is the executive director, and usually they, as an executive director, you make that
Yep, he
call.
makes that call.
I
We
agree.
don't, he has a budget, he has to live within his budget, and we give that
Yep.
control to him, so I don't know
Right.
the right word
So
to
I
say,
think
but-
we need to vote the salary range specifically to this position, because
Okay.
it was not actually related to a job description before.
As a consideration, Lisa, we've defined our budget already.
Mhm.
Yes.
So we're not modifying the budget, we still have to
No.
operate
He
within
still
those
has to live within
parameters
his budget.
until
Right.
there's another.
And he still has to
Right.
have his budget approved every year by us.
Mhm. Yeah,
So
absolutely.
that salary is gonna be in there, and we're gonna see
Yep.
it every year, cause he's gonna come to us and say, okay, this is gonna be my salary budget. So I'm thinking that we don't need to be too micromanaging when it comes to
No.
this stuff,
No, but
that we need to give him.
we need to put a salary range to this particular job description, because although we set a salary range before, it didn't apply to this job description.
Oh, so what you're saying is every job description should have a salary range
Yeah,
in it? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I think so.
Well, since we only have 2 job descriptions, yes,
It's not a long list, right?
No.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
And you're recommending 23 to 28,
that is correct, but that, again, that's a sliding scale, and that we would have a conversation as if we have an individual who's a
needs to
long
be-
tenured individual.
No, I understand that.
You know, that they would probably be on the high end of that scale, they would be on the high end of that scale if they get that other title that
Times 52.
we would
Exactly.
discuss.
So the salary starts at 47,840, that would be 23,
Yep,
and what is 28?
yep.
To 58,240. Does that sound right?
That's right.
That's my math.
Good,
If you can't do it hourly, you do it salary by
right,
annual
Yep,
per year.
per year.
So I'll move that we put the salary range for the Abington CAM Access Operations Coordinator at between $23 and $28 an hour at the director's discretion.
Make it
We have a motion, do we have a second?
the owl seeker.
Can we change that to annual?
Sure. Sure.
Oh, the annual amount.
Okay. Between 47,840 and 58,240.
Yes,
58,240.
that's right.
thank you.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
It's unanimous.
Unanimous.
There we go.
Thank you.
Thank you. So the next item on the agenda, employee benefits and then health and dental, which is benefit being, the listed, vacation, sick days, et cetera. Health and dental is actually previously approved.
Yep.
Yeah, we already did that.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right.
So Lisa, just for your consideration, I brought a document in that just made the edits that we had spoke of. It is specifically, the following benefits are provided for the ACAM Access Operations Coordinator. It spells out the health insurance as was approved at our last discussion and meeting and vote. And then it just recorded the edits of our out-of-office time inclusive of vacation days, sick time, paid parental leave, paid military leave, and the paid holidays. and those are itemized.
Can I ask why we're making it specific to the operations coordinator and not to just at will, like we had planned?
Because we've just named an access operations coordinator, we have another position at ACAM, the executive director, that may have different quantities of out-of-office time allocated.
Okay,
Yeah,
and you're assuming
contract.
if we make another one as an assistant executive director, then we'll have to make another benefit plan. Usually you have like one that everybody falls under, 'cause, I
We
mean,
just
is
don't
that
have
gonna
a
be
lot of
contracted?
employees right now,
Oh, I know, but why would you wanna go back and change it? Why don't we just make it so that it's,
because it won't be
Goes forward.
universal to the executive director.
well, you could
So we do have,
you can put non-contracted employees, 'cause they're not contracted, they're at will.
yes,
And then we have contracted employee, like the executive director has, but not, that way you don't have to keep coming
Good
back to it.
observation.
It's universal for all.
Yep, we're glad to change it.
we
That's
do
the,
have, I think I passed out to everybody,
what do you
hopefully
do with
this
the
time
police
too.
that are
Oh,
non-contracted
the
workers?
following benefits will start
what?
upon
These are
employment with
contractors.
Abington CAM, and
Oh,
then
yeah,
says
they're part-time. This is
effective
full-time.
October
Sorry.
1st, 2019. Does everybody have that one?
I'm sorry, Lisa, you're having a side discussion.
It says right here, effective October 1st, 2019. Does everybody have that?
Is that in the package? You dropped?
I think
Yeah, I
I gave
do.
that to everybody
It's at the
again.
back, the back.
That's at the back.
Yeah.
Okay.
So these are the benefits that Kevin was hired with.
Yes.
So I think that,
So do you wanna make it a little bit more generic as to like a non-contracted, full-time?
non-contracted, so we
Full-time
could say,
employee, so it doesn't apply to part-time employees, it doesn't apply to anybody unless they're non-contracted, full-time.
So I
Salary,
just
whatever.
wanna be cautious. We have hourly waged employees, so it comes down to, it can't just be employees. We might wanna consider if we're going to be
full-time.
generic, we need to have salaried full-time employees.
Salaried full-time.
Yeah, there you go.
And the one effective October,
But you wanna say non-contracted, cause he's contracted, correct?
right, non-contracted
Salary,
full-time
full-time,
employees.
yeah.
And the one effective October 1st, 2019 will be, we can add the word contracted employee.
Or you can even just add executive director, couldn't you? Cause that is
Either
very
way.
specific to him.
He's the only one.
Yep.
Following benefits for the executive director
Yeah.
will start upon employment.
I'm sorry, why are we changing the executive director at all?
Yeah.
We're
Is
just
it
clarifying,
different?
that's it. All
It's
we're doing is
different.
we're
Yeah, but
adding it.
I don't think we should be even discussing the executive director role or benefits at this time. I think we should be shaping what are the benefits for the new role we've appointed. And if that is, the
Okay.
following benefits are provided for the ACAM salaried, non-contracted employees, and we list them out,
Yep, there you
I'm
go.
thrilled to make that edit.
Okay, great,
Full-time,
yeah.
Salaried,
full-time.
We're not gonna do that, yeah.
that's the only
Because-
salaried we'd have, right?
That's true.
Well, you don't know. so it's-
Salary probably is enough.
Yeah.
So we're going to change access operations coordinator to
Salaried, non-contracted employees.
salaried, non-contracted employees.
How do you become a contracted employee? Well, by having a contract.
You get
right?
Kevin's job.
Okay, yeah, all right, I got it.
Yeah.
I was having a mental
Good.
block.
I know how you think, well, I had to walk it through
I'm
myself.
talking
I
about
know
the
what you mean.
contract labor or
Yeah.
non-contract
Right.
labor.
Okay. Can we have that in the form of a motion? Are we good with that?
It's called a salaried, non-contracted employee, right?
Mhm.
Right.
Correct.
Okay. Then we need a
Instead of
motion.
access operations coordinator.
Okay, I got them all.
And actually, this one says effective October 1st, 2021, so that,
That is
actually
correct.
eliminates the need to change the other one that says effective October 1st, 2019.
We have no need to change that at all anyway.
Yep.
Correct.
Okay. Can we have a motion?
I'd motion to accept the version 1.1 dated 9/16, which needs to be modified to say, the following benefits are provided for the ACAM salaried, non-contracted employees, and accept that these will be the benefit package assigned to such salaried, non-contracted employees.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Do you wanna make that use the effective date, Bob, or skip it?
I will update, it'll become version 1.2, and then I want to share it with Kevin so he could share it with a prospective employee, if that's okay.
Okay.
Okay. I second.
I won't
All
put-
in favor?
I won't put the
Aye.
effective-
Aye.
I won't put the effective date in there.
Okay, there's that little copy I can't
Um,
read.
So,
Yeah, you can modify that to the employee.
Yeah.
health and dental was approved last time. I believe that's it,
That's it, we're good?
unless somebody has something else. No? Motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
Oh, we need a second.
We need a
All in
second.
favor?
I have
Second.
second. They're all like, yeah, let's
All in favor, aye. Thank you.
Thank you.